Hello, I'm Chuko Mecca. I'm the top martial artist in California when it comes to combat. And if I was going to give some advice, it would be some advice that's very controversial. A lot of martial arts masters wouldn't want me to give it because what they teach people first and foremost is form. What I found personally is that the most direct attack, as Bruce Lee has said, is the most effective. I found that to be true. I also found that traditional forms and traditional ways of teaching are not as effective as true combat experience, sparring and shadow boxing and visualization. Having a strong imagination when it comes to fighting, it helps a lot. There's different techniques I've been taught that out of respect for my masters, I'm not going to say what they are. Some of my masters I have never revealed who they are, and again, that's out of respect and out of what we talked about. Now, with all this being said, you know, um, there's certain ways of people perceiving energy. I think that's a very appropriate way to put it. Is that um, the way you perceive energy helps you with your defense. You can kind of read the body language and the different ways they shift from stances and different shifts to different positions. They're kind of what they're going to do. But first and foremost, it's about energy. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a couple clips. Clips of me using a lot of energy with pretty much fully extended punches, and then clips of me, extending about, I'd say about 7/8 the distance of the other clips. With me doing 10 hits in 1 second. And I want you to notice that, I have a long, very long arm, okay? So keep in mind that when I'm covered this much distance, okay, instead of this much distance, it's still longer than most, probably the average man's arm, right? Even when I bend a little bit. So when I do those 10 punches in 1 second, that's what it is. And there's nothing you can really say. You can't say, well, your body structure makes it so that you should be just as fast. Actually, it's the other way around. Actually, if you look at martial arts, it's very easy to switch between stances and to do different moves when your arms and legs are shorter. When your body frame is smaller, it's more conducive to martial arts. So, and a lot of the moves ends up being, more ranged moves as opposed to, long range moves as opposed to grappling range and trapping range moves, So, yeah, I think, one thing I've always said, I've always maintained is that I don't have the best form. That goes back to entertainment. It's entertaining to see somebody beat someone up with great form, for instance. It's entertaining to see these guys in the movies, Van Damme. I do some warm-up moves. I do this kind of jump roundhouse. It's a little bit off, it doesn't come across straight. It comes across more like this, for instance, which is kind of the same way the capoeira kick comes off. It comes off like this, this kind of an arc. Instead of this kind of an arc, instead of coming across like this, it comes across like this. It simply has like an arc to it, whoosh. So, yeah, there's different uses for that. There's different times when you're going to use it. You have to know how and when to use it, and that's all part of it, And so one thing I can't stress enough is that form, though it is pretty, though it can contribute, and I stress the word can, contribute to a more powerful blow, it doesn't necessarily equate to a more powerful blow, and it isn't necessarily in your best interest. You have to know when to, for the same reason you have to know when to do a spinning technique, for example. You're probably not going to lead with a spinning technique. You're probably going to end a combo with one, for instance, or, do it in a way to throw off your enemy. Do it as a counter attack. For example, you see this a lot in Olympic sparring when they do just legs. So you have to know when and where and how to execute certain techniques. And for the same reason, form can be as predictable as a spinning move. So I I will use what some people might even consider sloppy form in order to land, initial strikes. And then I will finish with a very powerful strike with a very good form, for instance. It's all about setting up your attack, throwing your enemy off. There's different techniques you can use. Also, for example, when I'm using a knife, for instance, it's just a very, very typical knife. I like it because it puts the full tang in tang. You see what I'm saying? Puts the tang in full tang, right? It's really sturdy. It puts the full in full tang as well. So I like that. Any blade that feels like it might break off in combat, or it might not. It might wobble when it goes in. Is not a good blade to use. But anyway, for the same reason where being stabbed is being stabbed, pretty much. Whether I'm fucking stab you with perfect form, or whether I stab you from an angle. At the end of the day, you're still being stabbed. If I'm gonna stab you in the neck, you're not gonna tell much of a difference between whether I stabbed you with the perfect form or not. It's more about where I've stabbed you than how I've stabbed you, if that makes sense. For example, if I stab you in the heart, it really doesn't make much difference if I stab you straight on or stab you a little bit downward. Most likely a dead person anyway. If I stab you in the neck and then twist the knife, it really doesn't matter if I stab you like this, stab you like this, stab you like this. Because when I start twisting it, there's a slight difference, but it really doesn't much matter. And it's the same thing as in a fight, And so I will sacrifice technique. I will sacrifice form, more specifically, for striking ability, striking capacity. And also, it's important to note, I'm gonna end this by saying this and then go to the clips, is that I do not believe that Jackie Chan could beat me. I do not believe Bruce Lee could beat me. Some moves that they do are faster than me. I don't believe that they are faster strikers than I am. I've studied their moves, and sometimes it's hard to see their moves, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're faster. But yeah, I think that Bruce Lee, I'm about as fast as Bruce Lee, and the difference really lies in the reach. The reach is why he would lose. Him being forced to have to deal with my speed at my full extension, and then have to deal with it as he comes into trapping range, for instance. I think Bruce Lee is most effective at trapping range. And, a lot of it has to do with the styles of martial arts he emphasized, such as Wing Chun. And he spent time, some of you have seen that famous video with the Wing Chun master. So first he has to deal with my speed to get into the trapping range, and then he has to defeat me at trapping range when I'm just as fast as him at trapping range. So for this reason, I don't believe that he is better at combat than I am. I believe he would lose in combat, in self-defense in combat. And it's kind of interesting because, there's certain things that, that will give him an advantage. Obviously, if he's walking around with his nunchucks, he'd probably start off with a certain advantage, But again, he would still have to deal with my speed, distance, and striking. And the nunchucks would give him an advantage at the distance, but they wouldn't necessarily allow for the kill. They would inflict blows that I could probably take and still stab him with inflicting more harm and damage. So, as I analyze the situation, the people that we respect as the all-time greats, the greatest martial arts in America, are people that I believe that I could beat, and I have very good reason to believe this, at combat and self-defense and sparring. And, again, I don't mean to knock them or, anyone else. This is just the truth. And when you're the best and you have some important political message to relay to people, I think that absolutely you should declare that you're the best. Absolutely you should use that to get your message out. As Malcolm X said, by any means necessary. We should beat these people by any means necessary. What's necessary here? What is a logical means for someone in my position to take advantage of, to use? I'm going to leave it at that. Play the clips. Thank you. Problem is, I can unleash these blows at trapping range at any time. You know, as soon as my opponent gets close, after having dealing with the combo I just showed you, they have to deal with this. Just that fast, that's 10 hits.